royalists. The rebel barons had been defeated, and their French allies driven out of England altogether. William Marshal now focused on creating a stable kingdom for the young King Henry III. To maintain the backing of the rebels, in 1217, a royal seal of approval was given to a reissued Magna Carta, limiting the power of the monarchy. Many barons held lands in both England and Normandy. But now they faced a choice. On which side of the Channel would they make their home? Many chose England. The cross-Channel kingdom was over, establishing a clear English identity. But the impact of the Normans on England's evolution is still felt today. Almost 1,000 years later, the surviving Norman castles and cathedrals still dominate the landscape. In the midst of the modern city, William the Conqueror's fortress, the Tower of London, remains a powerful reminder of their legacy. But it's the unseen influence of the Normans that endures. The Norman invasion changed the English language and established the foundations of modern parliament and governance. And it's all because one man, William the Conqueror, claimed the English crown that he believed by rights was his. The Normans conquered a country and changed the course of England forever. In 1350, what we know as the idyllic French countryside was a living hell. For more than 15 years, the people had suffered at the hands of English invaders. Little did they know that this war would last for another 100 years. But through this crucible of fighting, famine, and plague, there would emerge the modern nation of France. England's King, Edward III, looked jealously across the English Channel. Wanting France for his own, he had added the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of France, to his own royal standard. This was an all-out declaration of war. And in 1337, he invaded. But France already had a king, Philippe VI. As the English burned their way across the land, Philippe's army and his legendary knights marched to meet them and came face to face with the English longbow. A simple weapon, but the most devastating the knights had ever faced. The heroes of France fell to storms of English arrows. the war engulfed the French countryside. By 1351, the conflict was focused on Brittany. One fight stands out as a spectacular display of chivalry and a symbol of the wider conflict between the two enemy nations. The Combat of the 30 is still commemorated here in Brittany. It was a dispute between two local families. Supported by the opposing sides in the war, the French and English commanders decided to settle it through a trial of knightly combat. Each side would choose 30 champions to fight on neutral ground. France prepared to defend itself against England's finest. Intent on ending the suffering of the French peasantry, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir sent a challenge to the English commander. 30 champions on each side would compete in a tournament for final claim to Brittany. With the battleground of the halfway oak agreed upon, Sir Jean set out to gather support from local knights. As a knight himself, Sir Jean followed the strict rules of chivalry and was expected to protect the local peasantry and ensure peace.
Je ris dans vos volets. Mon arway mègne avec moi. Je ris dans vos volets. Mon destrier rimègne. Certes, bien savets quoque. Si comme vos voldres. Por vos certes.
Most medieval tournaments were friendly in nature, held for sport and glory, but the Combat of the 30 was arranged between opponents mired in war. English raids had torn through the countryside of Brittany and brought great hardship to the people. Sir Jean spotted an English raiding party attacking a nearby farmstead.
Incontinent.
The French knights defeated the English raiders, and Sir Guy de Rochefort joined Sir Jean's party.
Votre serveuse. Apertisez votre courage, compagnon. Certes. Retrayez vos amours. Incontinent. Si comme vos voldrez. Hors votre service.
Sir Jean's search next brought him to Sir Geoffroy Dubois, whose squires were contending with a detachment of English longbowmen. The knights would use the great speed of their war horses to charge the archers and overwhelm them. The English longbowmen fell, but the French knights knew the enemy would attempt to retake the hilltop fortification and steeled themselves for further attacks.
Je suis votre serveuse. Pour votre service. Avertissez votre courage, compagnon. C'est comme votre
With Sir Geoffroy by his side, Sir Jean had secured the outpost.
Vassaille, donc.
L'heure est de besoigner. Retrayez vos amours. Avant, compagnon. Certes. Quand je commande, avant. Je suis votre serveuse. Incontinent. Si comme vos voldrez. Avertissez votre courage, compagnon. Accespez vos compagnon. Retrayez vos amours. Quand je commande, avant. Avertissez votre courage, compagnon. Avant, compagnon.
Looking to secure his honor, a young knight held his ground on a bridge in Sir Jean's path.
Je cours.
Honorably conceding defeat in the duel, Sir Yves Charel joined the cause.
Dicte-moi ma besogne.
Place, comme vos blessed. J'obtiens père à Oxavitz. Vectons nos en la bouée. Renietz vos armes. Un pied ci, un pied là. Metz vos donc en la bouée. Et comprens. Si fais vos commandements.
Sir Jean entered the staging area for the tournament, where he prepared to choose which knights would join him in battle. Each knight would be accompanied by his squires, young nobles in training to become knights themselves.
Comme vos blessed.
Sir Jean had selected his champions. As the sun rose, the two sides entered the arena, ready for the first round of combat. Claiming an easy victory in the first round, the French champions left the arena to recover their strength.
Page, veci commandement. Place, veci commandement. Wetz vos donc, en avoué. Viens, renietz vos armes.
Refreshed and reinvigorated, the French knights returned to the arena for another round of combat. The combat of the 30 was about to decide which nation would control the Duchy of Brittany.
Si fais vos commandements. J'obtiens père à Oxavitz.
Triumphant, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir and his loyal knights claimed victory. The combat of the 30 had decided control of Brittany in favor of the French. Little did the two sides know, this was just the beginning of a bitter war that would outlive them all. After victory at the combat of the 30, the French faced devastating raids from England's Black Prince. But France's King John II was closing in. Jean finally caught the English near the city of Poitiers in September 1356. The French army outnumbered the English by thousands. King Jean himself joined the fight, but what seemed a certain victory for France soon turned into a nightmare. The English longbow devastated the mighty French army. An endless hail of arrows gutted the main French force. Then the English captured King Jean. The fight was over. The Battle of Poitiers was another catastrophic defeat for the French. The English had destroyed most of France's nobility in a single day. Now they turned their attention towards taking the French capital, Paris. The invaders marched unopposed towards Paris. The remains of some of the medieval walls of Paris still stand today. As the English army approached, the terrified locals sought shelter behind these defenses. Could France's capital withstand the full might of the Black Prince's army? The English Black Prince had raided the French countryside without mercy. And now his army had come for the capital. With the English on their doorstep, it fell to the French army and the people of Paris to defend the walls of their proud city. Hoping to avoid open battle, the French began fortifying the city, manning the walls and calling every available soldier to his post. As the French hastened their preparations, several detachments of English soldiers were spotted closing in on the city.
Que faut-il donc besoin? Bien, base.
Advertans das Morgen. Manans, heißt aufregen.
Oh, jetzt les ordonnances.
Manans, va jetzt moi besoin. Que vali vas me faut trahir. Tous te y a là.
Va jetzt moi besoin.
Que faut-il donc besoin? Lors bâti juste.
Oh, mestière de moi.
Advertans das Morgen. Pour savoir, mais
oh, jetzt tous lors de votre salaire. Longtemps va-t-il demeurer? On ne pas au train.
Reste pour la besogne, Manance. Que Valley Bastille.
Que faut-il donc besoin?
The English showed no mercy, burning their way to Paris via 3 routes,
Besoin à faire.
each of which was home to villages and farms that supplied the capital.
Oh, me faut traiter. Comme un volet. Je bosse à mes mériens. Besoin à faire? Ouais.
Oh yes, les ordonnances.
Vécuer mériens.
Jetouille, amarré.
Longtemps pas sûr de me
Advertasi, mes exploiteurs. À votre commandement. Non, stial,
Que faut-il donc besoin de me temps, maintenant? Provence, avoir mestir des bois.
Oh, messieurs de mouette.
Oh yes, les ordonnances.
Oui, là. Oh, me faut traiter.
Chascuns en sa place. Je tempère à Oxavitz. Compagnon, oye. Chascun comme compagnon, presque fort entier.
Aime besoin. Reste pour la besoin. Viens de me plaire. Ça a du besoin au grand-père. Oh, yeah.
Allons, ça reste tous. Là, c'est moi exploité. Bon, boss.
Oil, mestir des mouets.
Oil, besoin y a fait. Un besoin.
Besoin y a fait.
Voyez moi besoin. Que faut-il donc besoin? Adverta marchier pour et restos. Longtemps soit-il de mourir.
Archie, reste portrait. Prenez vos arcs. Dicte-moi. Obéis au commandement.
Oh yes, le
En besoin.
besoin y a fait.
Oh, me faut trahir. Que faut-il donc besoin?
Oh, me faut traiter. Lors bâti, je sais.
Bonne besoin. Archie.
Ça est bel manoir.
Oyez bien, compagnon, ça, compagnon. Oh, ben. Nickel, boss qui a besoin.
Allons, ça, tous. Lors de votre salaire. Vécuer mériens. Là, c'est moi exploité. Pour vous servir, je veux s'amène mériens. Allons! Sous vos astuces!
As the French continued to rally their army, the English took the last of the surrounding villages and had almost encircled Paris.
Baillez-moi besoin.
En besoin. Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Vestivey. 16 belles mains. Ouais.
Compagnon,
With the countryside in flames and the English at the city gates, the French armies steeled themselves for battle. Now came the capital's true test, with the mighty walls of Paris hold against a fearsome English siege. The Parisian guard raised the alarm as the English began their first assault on the city walls.
Oye, allons, sacrés tous.
Compagnon, ici les commandements.
Besoin d'une attaque, balance. Oye, marchier arrière, moi, trestos.
Besoin d'y faire.
Je vais raparier ce manuel.
Oyez les ordonnances. Lors batige s'estuit.
Advertence, tout le monde. Lors dévance nos salaires. Tous dialores.
Et comprenne. Si fait poste commandement. Compagnon,
The French army fought valiantly, repelling the first English attack.
Besoin d'y faire. Giovanni Bastille.
Aime besoin. Oyez tout le monde. Oyez les ordonnances.
soyez prêts. Chevaucheur, à pleine course.
Manox, en poste. S'exploite les répavements. Rappareillement, si vais exploiteurs. Je vais rappareiller ce manuel. Leurs dévance nos solaires. Pour vous servir. Oh, me fa au trail. Ardu besoin d'y faire. Veille à la mine.
Les chevaucheurs, est-ce qu'il besoin? Chevaucheur, j'excuse.
Schätzmess was Abiament! Over les troupes!
Endlich, Leute! Ich hab den Pen!
Over les troupes! Over les terres! Over les troupes, s'il vous plaît! A Schätzmess was over les troupes!
Uniform Skeletri!
Oyez fort vos services. J'exploite les réparements. Je vais rappeler.
Ich Gemeinschaft des Guten! Schaskins, negt uns los in la voie!
Although the walls of Paris had been breached, the French could still hold the city, so long as its mighty landmarks did not fall.
Besoin de nos attentes!
Uniform Skeletri! Silence, wie faut être
Allons, ça reste tous. Oi, mestier. Lucia Loretz!